Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, we are going to be talking about one of the harder secret rooms in the Doom Tower based around the epics from the Lizardmen faction. Now, because of how the progress missions work, you are going to eventually have to clear all 12 secret rooms in a Doom Tower, so it's worth it to know about these rooms and kind of slowly work towards these goals. Even if you're not doing it right now, you will someday be at a point where you want to finish these secret rooms. So I'll show you the team that I use on full auto, and we'll also go through the Lizardmen epics so that you understand which ones to watch out for, which ones to hold on to a copy of, and maybe consider building so that you can tackle this eventually one day. Let's get into it. Alrighty, and in honor of talking about epics from the Lizardmen faction, I bring you this moment in raid history.
Okay, so the first question of the last round is, which epic champion of the Lizardmen faction has the highest base def?
Okay, please show your answers, guys.
Oh, nobody's.
So we have Jarek for Jagex, Jizza for Brad, and Broadmaw. Is he from the Lizardman?
I hope so.
Yeah. yeah, I guess.
Come on!
I thought everyone was from Undead Hordes. So, yeah, Brad gets 2 points for the correct answer.
Well done.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a fun event from back in the day where Plarium brought on some content creators for a trivia contest. But in terms of the team at hand here for clearing this secret room, this is the one that I use. We've got Jareg for the aura, Broadmouth for the speed up, the buffs, and the revives. And then we've got Drake for doing some damage, Basilisk for the AoE stun set to lock down some opponents, and Jarang to do a little bit of damage. And if you take a closer look, you will see that I haven't invested a ton in this team. Various champion training events over the course of time, I have brought them all to 60 just to kind of double dip points whenever I could, and a champion that I would at least use at some point in time. But I did save, a little bit of books there on one of them, and I only did masteries for literally one of them. We've got Jareg from back in the day that I used a lot for like my beginner clan boss teams and stuff, and for finishing Lizardmen faction wars, I had him and kind of fully invested in with books and masteries. But the other ones, no masteries. We just throw some decent gear on them, make sure to upgrade them during artifact enhancement, and then for the ones that I did book, I made sure to double dip during CVC over the course of the last couple of years, and same with champion training on which ones to take to level 60. If you had a bunch of patience and you wanted to get like multiple champions in a stun set and wait for good RNG and swap gear around and stuff like that, you could probably, especially if you had Broadmouth there for revives, you could probably get some pretty good RNG and just wait until you get a bunch of stun procs and clear it pretty effectively. And as we come up to the final wave here, I do want to make note that you want to target down the enemy Broadmouth. They're going to be using epics from the Lizardmen faction as well, and you don't want their Broadmouth to be buffing up speed and reviving people anytime. I believe there's a Broadmouth in wave 1 as well, so make sure and target them down so that you're not letting the Broadmouth get value, because Broadmouth is going to be an S tier epic for a context like this and clearing this secret room. So if you get a copy of Broadmouth, definitely make sure you hold on to it for when this room is going to be available to you to try and take down. And there we go. We are on the last enemy. There is the full auto 3.5 minute clear of the epic secret room for the Lizardmen. And hopefully down here on the right, I'll leave that up for a little bit to try and give you an idea of maybe some stat goals you would want to hit. This is on hard mode also, by the way. If you can get somewhere around 50 something thousand HP and like 3 to 4K defense on your tanks should be just fine. And your damage dealers, I mean, as long as you are have a Broadmouth that can revive and you've got patience, you don't need to hit insanely hard. You could be a little bit lower on the side of the damage dealers, and you can always consider lifesteal like you see there in my Drake, just to kind of help sustain, and for anybody that's doing damage, you can have them help heal themselves up. So now let's go over all of the epics in the Lizardmen, and let's talk about ones to keep an eye on. Maybe you don't have my exact team, and we'll talk about how each one kind of ranks from S to F for ones to consider for clearing this room. So, okay, the way that this is going to break down, ideally, you're going to want these core four champions, and then the fifth can just kind of be a flex spot. So, ideally, the team that I would recommend is you go with Jareg as the leader. You get the amazing 33% HP in all battles aura, and he also has a lot of utility. You can kind of pick who you want to decrease the attack of on the A1. You get ally protection and increased defense, and then you're also going to be getting some heals. So Jareg is definitely one you want to have. Broadmouth is absolutely S tier. Not only are you getting the revive from the A3 here, but you're also going to be getting more crit rate, making it so if you're using like trash gear that you're just kind of throwing on champions, nice to kind of buff up the crit rate if you're not crit capping everybody. And then also you're getting the version, the baby version of the increased speed on all allies and a little bit of turn meter fill. If you could hit one book on it, it's a 3-turn cooldown and decently solid. You also get CC on the A1. So Broadmouth and Jareg are an amazing place to start, where you get the aura and some support with heals, and then you also get the revive and speed boosting. So right there, those two champions can check a lot of boxes for you. Then after that, I believe you would also want to take Jarang and Basilisk. Jarang is going to be bringing this good ability right here. If you get it booked, it's pretty decent in a context like this. You get the 3-turn cooldown, decrease attack, and defense break. Defense break is pretty important in this room. As you saw on the last wave, we're going up against a lot of defense. I think they have like 3 Gizos on there who has the highest base defense. As you saw earlier in the video, has a very high base defense for a Lizardman Epic. So defense break going to be very good in this room, and it makes Jarang pretty decent. He has also got some CC with a stun on the A2, and he'll ignore some defense and hit pretty decent if you get him in some all right gear to do some damage. And then Basilisk, what's great in rooms like this, if you saw my video that I'll try to remember to link to over there, if you saw my video on the rare attack champions, I literally used like 3 stun sets, because you can run these rooms for free. So there's really no problem in trying them over and over and over again until you get good luck and you get good stun set procs. If you get Basilisk in a stun set with this AoE A1 and you get him built out decently, you can get some really good RNG and keep the enemies really suppressed. You also get another stun on the A2, and then he has a passive that will self-revive himself. So those 4 are pretty decent choices to build around in Jareg, Broadmouth, Jarang, and Basilisk. I would say after that, it's just a flex spot and it gets a little bit more niche. You know, VENOMAGE is all right for like poisons and stuff, but I wouldn't say, I'd say he's more of like a C tier for a room like this. Then AOX is honestly a pretty decent option. I'd probably put him in like the A tier for a room like this. You're getting poisons, you're getting heals, and you're also getting the AoE decreased tack with some turn meter suppression as well. So AOX does some fun things. He'd be fine to throw in there. Broodlord has got some provoke CC on the A1 and can bring a decent amount of utility. Z is kind of just a damage dealer. I don't know how amazing would be. I mean, sure, if you've got a good support group around, could be fine. But I chose to bring Drake as my damage dealer because I get a little bit more utility. I think you get this this ability here that's going to decrease speed and decrease accuracy on all enemies except the target if critical. So you build them with a decent amount of critical, and you're getting some good value there. You also get attack one enemy, and if the target has less than 30% HP, always going to be critical. That's not great, but it hits all right. And then you get kind of like a Relic Keeper Septimus type snowball ability here, where once you get a kill, you keep going. And I put him in a lifesteal set just to get those constant heals. But again, none of this is mandatory. Jizo could be okay in that flex spot. He's pretty tanky and pretty sturdy, and would survive and be able to, you know, win like a slow fight that you're just trying to grind out. Would be an all right choice. Quarjan, I mean, all right. If booked, you get a 3-turn heal and shield, so definitely fine as a choice there in the flex spot. Scathix, you know, you get decreased speed. They do place a decent amount of buffs, so stealing buffs can be pretty handy. And you know, removing debuffs, again, he'd be fine for the flex spot as well. So mostly, if you build that core 4 of Broadmouth, Jareg, Jarang, and Basilisk, you should be fine no matter who you put in that 5th spot, especially if you're willing to be diligent with some stun sets or something. Also, on the way out, one more important thing that a lot of you are curious about and ask about a lot is that this is retroactive. So you can do this whenever you want. This is what it will look like if you finish that progress mission before you are on it. You can see there it will fill up and give you credit. So never a wrong time to focus on these secret rooms. And if you've got an opportunity to take all the secret rooms down and finish that progress mission that is active on your bar, even if you have not gotten to it yet, you will get back credit for that. Even if it shows the padlock, you will see that it has filled and showed that you have completed all 12 secret rooms. So go ahead and start working on those secret rooms, and I'll pull up those stats again if you want to see, just kind of to get an idea of what is required for this. So that'll do it for me on this one. Good luck versus those epics for the Lizardmen, and thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.